We are live. Thank you, Mrs. DeGraw. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. Mrs. Perkins, if you would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion, we approve the agenda.
There a second? I'll second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting. Madam Chair, I so move. There a second? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Superintendent's report, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the report today, I went in a different direction. I didn't have everything out formally, but I just wanted to highlight a few different things. First off, just thank you to our school board for all the time. It's been Thanksgiving and now close to Christmas, and really just wanted to say there's a lot of really good things, and we can't do it without volunteers here on the board. So thank you to our school board members for that. Other things, I did pull up our school, West Jefferson's Facebook page. So I just highlight this up here on the front because Mrs. Hall, Julie Hall, does a great job of keeping our community up to date on a lot of the different things. And with some of these posts, it's just going to go through a few of them that starting back to after our last board meeting. So I'm not going to do this every single time, but I thought it'd be just kind of fun because those in the audience and those that are at home watching will be able to see that Julie does a great job with this. Maybe that's probably one reason why people get a lot of their information. So wanted to go to the wrestling right here. So our wrestlers, our junior high wrestlers, finished out their season. This was the reason why we changed board meeting the last time. They ended up getting second place in the district. So thank you to Coach Fisher and all the kids that wrestled and their parents. They did a great job with that. Another thing I wanted to highlight, that's all everyone's fun comments on there. But our girls junior high basketball team, on that picture, right. Played Butte County for the championship, and it was a great, exciting game. Goodness, you can tell I don't go on Facebook very often. But here's a picture of our girls. Congratulations to them. They did a great job, and it was an exciting game. A last second shot to win the game, and so congratulations to our junior high. A lot of fun Christmas activities, or one Christmas activity on here. But bake sale. So the junior high kids, the student council, and Andrew, your founders on the student council, as well as my son. They did a bake sale and they participated in the proceeds going to a Secret Santa. And so they have the things were purchased and they were able to go in and do that. So it was very successful. They raised over $1,000 on the bake sale. And all those proceeds are going directly to a Secret Santa. And so that was a fun thing that the junior high was doing. We also had an assembly that I want to talk about. This was advertised. We invited Eastern Idaho Public Health to come in to the district, and they did an informational assembly on the dangers of vaping. Mrs. DeGraw, on your screen, can you move that out of the way for the board to see? There you go. I know it's not going to be on the screen, but
If we leave the admin part of this page, you'll be able to show a large image.
is that right there? I think.
Yeah.
This is gonna go there, but yes, sure. We should have known.
Well, let's do it this way. We at least have that menu post.
So it was one that we did record, and it is on our YouTube live channel. So if there are any parents that wanted to see that, they can go to our YouTube live channel and watch it in the entirety. That was the one that we had for 5th through 8th grade. And so we know that like nationally, vaping is a problem and we're not immune to that here. Like I recognize that to our board members and our community. It's almost, it's scary because vaping is undetectable, really. And the only way to really have it is to educate and have conversations with your own kids. And so that's one thing that we felt like it went really well. We are gonna have East Idaho Public Health come in January and provide some other trainings to staff members. But additionally, we're going to train several of our staff members to be able to teach a 4 lessons on vaping to students. And so we're going to continue to dive deeper into this. It's not just that let's bring somebody in and say, hey, nice job, you're helping out with vaping, but we're going to really focus in on this with the kids.
How are you gonna do that? Are you gonna take a class periods on this?
So
Help them.
we're gonna have our health teachers.
Oh, help people.
Yep, so Mr. Hadley, Mr. Ramirez, and Mr. Mackey are the 3 teachers. And so that way you'd have your 5th and 6th grade, you'd have your junior high, and then you have your high school. And they'll be able to teach those 4 lessons. And I think just, it was really neat for some of the kids to go, oh, wow, I didn't know that it was dangerous. So some of the myths were dispelled. The sad part, and just being flat out blunt, the high schoolers know, but I don't think they internalize it as much as the littler kids. I think the high schooler kids, it's one of those that if you're a parent of a high school student, you need to have a real conversation with your child. Because if they want to hide it from us and hide it from you, they can. And there's nothing we can do to stop them from that. And that's the scariest part about vaping. But there are lifelong implications for those that choose to vape. And that's the one message that I shared with our high school kids about this is if you don't know what you want to be for the rest of your life, why are you making a decision right now to be addicted to tobacco products for the rest of your life? Right now, and if you want to wait until you're of age and do that, great. There's no judgment for adults that are doing this. We weren't, it's clear that we're not saying that people that do smoke or choose to vape are bad people. But we can't deny the health benefit or the health risks of that. And we also can't deny that at this age, it's illegal. End of story. It's just not appropriate for younger kids to do that. And so, we really do like this is out of concern for the kids. It's just not out of concern of like, let's see who we can catch and get in trouble and punish. This is, are you sure you want to make a lifelong decision right now? So it was well. So I'm excited about what we have to offer here coming up this next year, starting in January. We'll just keep moving in that direction. But if you do have parents, board members, if you do have parents, our YouTube channel goes back 100% on that. And it's not an extensive one. I know our classes are going to go deeper into it, but definitely there are resources on how to quit. That's one thing that people, especially the high school kids that start doing this, they realize that when they do try to quit, they're addicted. And that's why it's so hard for them to quit. It's just, and that's exactly what I gotta be careful on how I say this. Maybe not all tobacco companies, but there may be some tobacco companies out there that want to get people addicted when they are teenagers because it creates a lifelong customer. And so that's something where statistics show that usually people who are doing it as adults started when they before age. So another exciting thing with our Veterans Day, in November, we announced the winners of our local contest for the Patriot Pen, thank you, and the what was the other one? Patriot Pen and the Teacher of the Year. So, but this is at the district level. Let's go right here. So Tom Mackey was Teacher of the Year at the district level, and Isaac Hall was first place at the district. He was second place here at the school level, but they must have liked his survey better then. And then the Voice of Democracy first place was Anthony Shaver. So she not only won the school, she won the district. So both those will have their essay sent to the state. And so like, well, that's a great showing for West Jefferson, where with, you know, you gotta hand it to our English department. When you look at from Mrs. Scott to Mr. Taylor to Mrs. Parker and Mrs. Erickson, you know, this is the group of kids that are coming through that. And we've had, you know, district winners the last several years. So that's something to be really proud of. So congratulations to them, and can't say enough about what Tom Mackey does for our district, and great employee that he is. Couple other things just to finish off. The band and orchestra will be doing an eat and run dinner here at the district office here next week. This is a little fundraiser for them. And then we highlighted some of the awesome things going on in the auditorium, those that were able to go. And so speaking of auditorium, you know, we did have our junior high performance of Newsies, which was just amazing for those, you know, hopefully you're able to attend. Yeah. So let's look at some of the fun pictures that we have here.
Part of that crazy man.
There was, let's see, there was that guy right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Figure that out.
Still haven't shaved his beard off yet. So funny story on this. The kindergarten kids were right down in the front row. And when this crazy actor was down and, you know, was like, let's get those kids. Some of those kids were scared of the kindergartners. So when the cops pulled him out and he was all mad, the Miss Coleman was like, I looked over at my little student and he was sitting there when you were in handcuffs, and he was like, yeah. We got him. So it was just a great showing from the students, and so it was. Even Mr. Hall was in there. Of course, he's the good guy.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I'm, you know, thankful for our teachers and everything. But, you know, away from just the different activities, sorry, I had a sportsmanship video I'm watching. Our district departments are doing an amazing job. Mr. Simmons, Larry Simmons, and Nick McAnally, and Dean Erickson. If you look at the snow removal, just alone, what they've done with the snow. I've been to other schools to referee, and their parking lots are just caked with ice and snow. Partly because they can't get to them in time, but they're here early in the morning, and I tell them thank you. But if you're out there, tell them thank you for making our sidewalks and parking lots safe.
Camera looked great. It's just slow down.
Yeah,
But
they're
so well.
doing an amazing job, and so all of our other departments are doing well right now, and you know, we're close to Christmas and having a lot of different programs, and you know, in the background, you hear people leaving from the third grade Christmas program. We have other activities going on, so just it's been a fun time here in the district. So thank you, Madam Chair. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Oh, one last thing, sorry. Monday's Christmas program at Hingham. And so that's gonna be at 6:30. Come early because there will be free music going on with some students and things. It'll be a lot of fun.
Mrs. DeGraw, do you have any public comment sheets? No, ma'am. Okay. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Try something. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on or questions on that? Those in favor? Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. One action item, we completed the superintendent evaluation earlier today. And the chair would entertain a motion to verify the completion of the superintendent's annual written formal evaluation.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Is there a second? Those in favor? Any opposed? That motion passed. Thank you. Moving right along. Informational and discussion items. Supplemental levy review.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we talked in some of our previous board meetings, It is the time where our supplemental levy will be, ending, and we need to discuss whether or not we want to renew that. My recommendation is that we do. Here's some information that we found, that we got from our financial advisors. We did talk initially saying, should we reduce it, should we not? Here's where I'm at right now, and of course, we're gonna have another meeting in the future, so allow the board time to think this out and have it. So right now, approximately 85% of the school district's funding goes towards staff and salaries and benefits. The supplemental levy accounts for approximately 7% of the general funds. About 70% of the teachers and staff commute each day. The supplemental levy has allowed us to offer teachers a competitive salary, insurance package, and increasing our teaching staff's overall quality. Additionally, this last year, where the legislature paid more money towards insurances, we've been able to increase our classified funding, which has been much needed, especially with all of the increase in the inflation. So as we looked at this, even if we dropped it a little bit, we don't know what the legislative session is going to be. We don't know if there's talk that discretionary money will be given to allow classified staff to have a higher pay. But right now, all of our classified staff, so you have your professional classified, which would be your department chairs. So your maintenance, your business manager, your technology, your department chairs that are at professional levels, they're not funded at a professional level from the state. All classified employees from the state are created equal, basically.
We're funded at 23,000 for classified.
So for one classified FTE is 23,000. So when you take the classified staff that we're teaching, money has to come from somewhere. We've been able to pull it from discretionary, but a lot of the discretionary money is already tied up to, I don't know what they call it. They call it operational. It used to be called discretionary. And then the superintendents go, it's not discretionary because you have strings attached to everything that we give us. They changed it to operational. So sometimes I use discretionary, like it's not discretionary because we don't have any discretion on it.
Right.
So what we feel, especially with the increase in inflation, we leave it as it is. But because of the increase in property taxes, it actually drops our levy amount from what we're at 324 to 316 per 100,000. So it's actually still a reduce in the overall rate, but I think we keep it the same. And again, that's something that the board will get to vote on later on. For us to be able to run a levy in March, we will need to have everything ready by the 23rd of January. So later on, we'll propose to have probably a special meeting that second week of January. We will come and just discuss that issue with that. Questions from the board? This is the comment time. Other things, that the 10-year average has been 350 per 100,000. So this is even with our current bond, our plant facility, like we're, I think we're at least when it comes to the way that we use levies and bonds, we're right where we've been. It's not extravagant in a historical sense.
Anyone have any questions or comments on that?
So it would have to be through by our next meeting. We have to approve it.
Yeah. We do.
We're working with a bond lawyer because of the new requirements on disclosures for levies and bonds. We have to make sure that we've got clear, we have to make sure we meet those qualifications. So we will meet with them on Monday and then hopefully do a special board meeting at the beginning of January to approve a levy resolution, then submit to the county.
And one thing that, when I was looking at this, with those new regulations that the legislature passed last year, we've been spending this on salaries and benefits, like 100%. And what it does is, if this was gone, like this was 100% gone, we would have to fall back 100% to the, to what the state gives us, to our teachers, and then we lose any of that advantage that we have to have people come down. Like, end of story.
Probably lose people too.
And then what would happen is our classified and our school bus drivers, those that we bumped that, I would love to be able to use this again to see if another bump could go for those classified. And this would be something that would allow us to have 100% like, okay, we know we have this money here that's guaranteed for us. And that's the hard part where, yes, we've been blessed with a lot of money in different ways, but it's money that can't be used long-term for salaries. Like the ESSER monies and things, they come in, they're gonna bless our schools in different ways, but not in the long-term operational way. So I feel good about this. I know that our teachers have been appreciative of that, our classified staff especially. And if there's more that we can do, I'm like leaning more towards our classified staff. Really, if there's more that we can do to help take care of them, this would allow us to do that.
Okay. So we will talk about that more at our special meeting. Review our state return to school plan.
All right, this is a requirement of being able to spend ESSER funds. It's just that we have a review. Attached is the safe return to instruction and continuity of services plan. This is one that we had to fill out earlier. And as we review it, this is just indicating that we will have a review date today. Additionally, when you say, well, what is our plan? This will look familiar to our board members, that as we look at we want to be in school, balance the health and safety of our students. Our plan does have flexibility in it. And honestly, right now, we probably could come in here and say, what are you doing? We have sickness. Some sickness is influenza, some sickness is COVID, some sickness is some other things going on. I think we have 3 of them right now that are pretty serious. But when it comes down to it, if you're sick, stay home. And that's really what we're doing with this. Do we have any other feedback? I guess our plan will be reviewed by the board stakeholders biannually. We didn't have anybody show up to give us feedback on this. It was on the agenda. I haven't had anybody come to me on any of my contacts. Does the board have any other feedback, or do we continue as is?
Yeah. Continue to.
So with that, I'll be able to put this checklist back on our website, which shows that we did have a biannual review. We haven't had feedback. We provided open opportunities for people to come and talk to us, and at this time they're not choosing to do that. That's all there is for 5.2. 5.3 is the same thing. It's just the use of funds plan that we're reviewing. I know in our other meetings we've talked about how we use our ESSER monies, and the board has been involved in that. Is there any other suggestions or ideas with the use of plans for investment? And these are things that, they can come out during this meeting, but they can also come out in the conversation that board members have with me. Like, people are so busy, the things that we've used our ESSER funds for, with the sound systems going into the classrooms. Those are ones that allow for students to be able to improve their learning, especially when we're looking at learning loss that may have happened during COVID. We've purchased programs with these. We've purchased new carpet in buildings to help, clean the air out and make sure that we have facilities that are ready to do that. So when we make it to funds, we still do have some plans for different things throughout the school, like updating some of the water fountains, another part with the ESSER funds. And so those are things that have been on our radar, but we provide tutoring for kids on the tutoring days. We have a lot of different things in place.
I'd like to see a updated budget.
And we definitely will go back to the that ESER plan.
See how much the release are.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. I think we should develop some. But I'd
Absolutely.
like to give us.
Perfect.
Next, policy 2210.
Discussed this last time, we were. The last part,
The first part, that, okay, second and third paragraph, seems to me that they should be switched because the notification of the school closure should come before the building principal shall decide whether to take it.
okay,
I think
Great.
that's switch, that's a great idea.
great suggestion, okay. Any other things from board members as you saw that? We looked at that last one, it's an emergency closure. Hours and season plan down per calendar year, the deficit of student instructional hours need to be addressed. The district will increase instructional time by adjusting daily schedules. Having a school on a non-scheduled school day or extending the school calendar. In the event that instructional hours need to be made up, employees will not be compensated for that emergency closure and will receive that compensation during the makeup day required to meet the instructional hours. I think that's-
You could say the deficit of student instructional hours. Instead of a deficit of instructional student hours.
On that first one,
Yeah, right there.
the deficit.
What do you think, Sandra?
I think it's okay.
I think this just clarifies what we're worried about. Another thing that as Mrs. Gra and I were brainstorming on this. The state does give 11 hours on top of the ones that we already have built in. And so we do have a little bit more cushion than what I was thinking that we did, so, which is good. So we're right where we were. I'm feeling better about it. So actually where we're close to Christmas and we haven't had a
But I
snow
don't,
day.
but I don't feel bad about it. If we have to make up a date,
Well, absolutely.
I don't feel bad because I don't think we can afford to not wait.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just think with the 4-day week.
And I agree 100%. And that's one thing is I look at the 4-day week. I know that in years past, there's been times when it's like, hey, it's -20 at my house. We need to not have school. I'm leaning more towards, you know what? I'm either gonna go to a 2-hour delay or our buses have, like, even if our bus is getting stuck this last little bit, they're pulled out. The kids have been getting here safely. They're here. You know, I know it's cold, but we have to have school. And I'm leaning a little bit more for the 4-day school week, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I want us to be here. And, you know, and I don't know if this was a policy or maybe it's just urban legend or myth, but sometimes they're like, man, that cold day would be really nice to have just because I'm so worn out and tired as a teacher, you know, it's like, that's great, but I know our teachers recognize that they need to have our kids here. They recognize it. And I hope our parents, that's one thing that I need to do a better job of reaching out to our parents to say, please get your kids here. Please, please, please do all you can to get your kids here to school. And, you know, I know there's a lot of sickness, but at the same time, we can't do it without parents having that investment. And I know that the kids, the biggest worry about the 4-day school week that was brought up is this is going to impact your kids academically. Unless the parents have buy-in and say, take it seriously when you're at school. If your kids are taking it seriously at school, they're gonna be just fine.
Just need to interrupt for 1 second.
Yes,
Do we have any other events that we need the chairs left down for in the chapel?
chairs.
Okay, that's what I told them. I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed a
Yep.
thing yesterday.
No problem. Okay, so I like that. I agree with you. When we can, of course, we're gonna keep people safe. But it's safe, not, what's the word? It might be uncomfortable a little bit, but you can still be safe, but it's uncomfortable.
We keep them inside if it's too cold.
Yeah.
Like this morning recess, we did indoor recess because it was below 10 and we
That's
wanted
good.
them to stay warm. Yeah,
Cold.
it was like 6 degrees.
And sometimes you know, that's just a starting point. We don't see people out there. I know at my last school I was at, I had people watching that. Why are you sitting about it? It's 9.5 degrees, you know, and it's still, you still make a judgment, just like in policy, the -20 is not a hard line. It's one where I start going, okay, I need to look at all these other factors and see. Don't be texting me your far temperature gauge, which I usually get.
People.
Okay, and lastly. Our special board meeting.
So could we schedule one the first couple of weeks, to discuss the supplemental levy renewal and look at that in January, so.
Do like the morning of the fifth. Thursday after,
Or do we want to do it
or we could do it,
the next week, would even be okay?
yeah, Monday or Tuesday of that next week.
Monday or Tuesday was fine.
9
What?
to 10.
Is it Tuesday better for you, Lily?
It doesn't matter, Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday would be better for you.
At a 9 o'clock, is that an okay time? We can go 8:30, we can go 10. We have a 2-hour delay.
Say 9.
Okay,
Say 9, and then
January 10th at 9.
yes.
The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
there a second?
Second.
Those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion